So today's
Yes, Prashant,
talk
we
is
can see the
about
screen. It's
Arduino.
visible.
So we will
Yes,
take a
yes,
look at,
visible.
we will, I will give you an introduction to Arduino and then we will see how we can program it. Then we will take a look at the modules which we can use with Arduino. So first of all, what is Arduino? Arduino is an open source platform used for building electronic projects. Arduino consists of both a physical as well as a piece of software. The physical part is also known as the Arduino board. We will talk about that in later. And the piece of software is also known as Arduino IDE. Here, the IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. That runs on your computer and used to write and upload computer code to the physical board. The Arduino platform has become quite successful and popular among the people just starting with the electronics. Arduino does not need a separate piece of hardware like a programmer to program in order to load any code. It has everything inbuilt in it. So that's why it got popular among the students. The Arduino IDE uses a simplified version of C++ language in order to program. The fancy name for the code written for the Arduino is also known as Sketch. So we will talk about the Arduino Uno. The board right in front of you, this one, is known as Arduino Uno. This is one of the most popular boards among the Arduino family. And this is a great choice for the beginners. Then we have the Arduino IDE. The software on the right hand side, this one is the Arduino IDE software. Uh, uh, this software is used to write codes and upload them to the physical board. So we will talk about what it does. The Arduino hardware and software was designed for artists, designers, hobbyists, hackers, newbies, and anyone who is interested in making interactive objects or environments. The Arduino can interact with buttons, LEDs, motors, speaker, GPS, camera, internet, and as well as your smartphone or your TV. This flexibility combined with the fact that Arduino software is free and the hardware boards are pretty cheap, that's why a large community of users have contributed to the code and the release instruction for a huge variety of Arduino based projects. So first we will talk about what's on the board. So here we have the Arduino Uno. We will talk about one by one what is contained on the board and how to use them. So we have the power jack and the USB cable. The USB cable is right here. The USB jack is used to connect your Arduino board to the computer. Then we have the power jack. This one is in order to give power to the Arduino. Then we have the pins. If you can zoom it, it will be better. Like I am zooming it. Uh, uh, Here we have the power pins. We have the reset pin, 3.3 volts, 5 volts ground, and these pins are used to give power to the Arduino as well as to the external modules. Then on the right hand side here, we have the analog pins. These are the analog input pins. So we can give input like analog input to the board. Then on the upper side, we have the digital pins. We have 14 digital pins starting from 0 to 13. Then there is a special sign right in front of 3, 5, 6, 9, 10, and 11. These pins are specially dedicated for the PWM signal. Here the PWM stands for pulse width modulation. We will talk about it. We will talk about this later in this tech talk when we will program the Arduino. Then we will talk about this. Then here we have the power on LED, and we have the main microcontroller on which the Arduino is based. This one is provided by the company called Atmel. and the microcontroller name is Atmega 328P. It is a 8-bit microcontroller. So then we have some passive components such as a power regulator and a microcontroller in order to program the Arduino. On the top left corner, we have the reset button. So that was a quick introduction to the Arduino. Then we have the Arduino family. Basically, Arduino family has a multiple boards, like 20 of those, but we will talk mainly about the most popular ones. First of all, we have the Arduino Uno. Then we have the Arduino Mini, the Arduino Mini, as well as the Arduino Nano and the Arduino Uno. All these three are based on the same controller. Just the difference is that these uses a SMD component and the Arduino uses a THT component. Then we have the LilyPad, the Arduino Leonardo, and the Arduino Mega. The Arduino Mega has a feature that it has almost 52 digital pins. So you have no sort of digital pins if you are using, if you are going to make a big project. The Arduino Leonardo has a special feature that it has an inbuilt USB controller. So we will talk mainly about the Arduino Uno today. Then we have the external family. Uh, and Arduino has no use if it is not connected with any sensors or actuators. So there are plenty of sensors made by third party which can be integrated with Arduino, like any ultrasonic sensor, IR sensor, a microphone, humidity sensors, motor drivers, motors, and LEDs, etc. Then now, as we all don't have any Arduino board with us, most of you don't have an Arduino board with you. So we will use a online software or online simulator, which is known as Tinkercad. It is provided by the company Autodesk. The best thing about this is this online simulator can handle an Arduino, and we can program Arduino on the online without having any physical board. So we will take a look at the Tinkercad now. So on any browser like Chrome or Mozilla Firefox, you can open the website tinkercad.com. Then you can log in with your account. If you don't have any account, you can just sign up. It is free of cost. Then once you log in, you will see a dashboard like this one. And on the left hand side, you have four options: 3D designing, circuits, code block, and lessons. So we are currently using circuits today. Just click on circuits, then click on create a new circuit. Okay, now we are on our Tinkercad editor. First of all, I will show you a small simulation so that you can know how this Tinkercad is working. I am just taking an LED, one resistor, and one battery. We can just select the components from here and drag and drop to our work area. Then, in order to make the connections, we can click on the legs of the components and just connect them by the click of our mouse. In this way, we can make circuits. If we have to delete, just we can click on the connection and press delete. So we will make a small circuit and show how to simulate on the Tinkercad software. Whenever you complete a circuit, just click on Start Simulation on the right top corner. Then you can see the LEDs glowing. In the similar fashion, we will make our Arduino circuits. I am going to delete all of this. Okay, so we will search for Arduino. Then here is Arduino. We will drag and drop it on our work area. So in order to code the Arduino, we have to select code. Then we will see the screen. Uh, we will click here and select text. So this is our coding area. Here we can code our Arduino. So first of all, I will give you a overview of the coding part. We have the void setup function, and then we have the void loop function. The void setup function runs only once in the Arduino. Whenever an Arduino is plugged into the power or the reset button is pressed, then the Arduino setup function runs. This function runs only once. Then after the setup function is done, then the void loop function runs infinite times. So that means whatever we have to do only once is put in the setup function, and whatever we have to do infinite times is being to be set up is being to be written in the loop function. So let's see let's take a look what we can do with the Arduino. First of all, I am taking one LED and one resistance. So we will take a look at all the aspects of Arduino one by one. Basically the basic ones. First of all, we will see what is these digital pins. The digital pins can give the output in digital form, like in 0 or in 1. So we can take so in order to take an output, I am using a LED with me. So first of all, connect one end of the resistance to the ground, then the other end to any one of the digital pins which we want to use. I am using randomly the D7 pin. So let's start coding it. So first of all, we have to tell the Arduino that we are using the pin number 7 as the output. So in order to set this, we will write the function pin mode. Then the pin number, our pin number is 7. Then we will write output. So using this function, we set the pin number 7 as output. Then in the loop function, we want to turn on the LED. So we will write digital write pin number 7 as high. So let's see what happens after we start the simulation. You can see the LEDs glowing. So that means as we write the digital write pin number 7 high, it give 5 volts to the pin number 7 and the LED starts glowing. Now we will stop the simulation and we try to do something else. So let's try blinking the LED. In order to blink, we have to turn the LED on for some time. Then we have to turn the LED off for some time. Then we will see a blinking effect. So we have already turned on the LED by writing this statement. Then we will give a delay. Let us take a delay of 500 microseconds. Here, whatever written inside the delay is in microseconds. So if you have to give a delay of 1 second, then you have to type 1000. I am giving a delay of half second, so I am writing 500. Then we have to turn off the LED. In order to turn off the LED, I have to write digital write pin number 7 low, and that's it. Then we will again give a delay. Let's start the simulation and see what happens.
Yes.
As you can see, the LED is blinking now. So this was a small coding part in order to blink the LED. If you want to increase or decrease the delay, we can write here, like I am increasing the off time. So this was for the blinking of the LED. As we have limited time, so I'm going faster than normal. Now, let's see something else. Here we have RGB LED. RGB LED stands for red, green, blue. So the feature of this LED is it can display three colors at the same time. It can display red as well as green as well as blue. So let's try this one out. The RGB LED have four pins. One is cathode, other is blue, green, and red. So we will connect the cathode to the resistance, then the green one to any one of the digital pin, then the red one and blue one also. So let us start again code this thing. So now we are using pin number 2, 3 and 4. So first of all we have to set all of these pins as output. So we have set all the pins as output. Now we will turn them on one by one. So first I have written digital write pin number 2 high, then I have given a delay, then I will turn it off, pin number 2 as low, then I will turn on, at the same time I will turn on pin number 3 as high, then I will give a small delay, then again I will turn it off, then I will turn all on the last one, pin number 4, then I again give a delay. So let us digital ecosystem. 1 second. Okay, okay. So we will start the simulation. Now you can see it is glowing in multicolor, green, red, as well as blue. So that was a small demo. Now we will take a look at other things. As I talk about the PWM signals, which is the pulse width modulation signal, firstly I will tell you what actually the PWM signal does. So basically this one, My internet is quite slow today, so I think it will take some time. If you can see here, right here, this one is a PWM signal. Basically, yes, it is open now. Basically, what a PWM signal does, it turns on for some time, then it's turned off for some time. Then the time of turning on and turning off will decide the duty cycle of the PWM signal. As you can see, the 20% duty cycle, the off time is more, the on time is less. Then in the 40% duty cycle, the on time is 40% and off time is 60%. In the same way, the 100% and 80% duty cycles are there. As we know, our eyes frame rate is about 25 frame per second. So we can see 25 frames in a second. If we do something faster than our eyes frame rate, so we cannot distinguish between the change in state. So that's what we are using. This thing is called persistence of vision. So we are going to blink the LED very fast so that we cannot see the exact blinking. We will see only the uh, only the fading of the LED. So let us program the Arduino in order to blink it so fast that we will see that it is, instead of blinking, it is fading. So this is called fading of the LED. So we will take a LED, we will connect it to any of the PWM pins. Now we are using the PWM pins. So I will connect to the PWM pin number 6. Then let's start coding. First of all, I have to set the pin number 6 as output. Then, okay. So we are using digital write in order to write write a digital uh, signal to the Arduino pins. Now, in order to write the PWM part, we have to write analog write. So these are the pre-made functions which are provided by the Arduino itself. So we will write analog write, then we will write the pin numbers. We are using pin number 6. Then we will write how much of the PWM signal duty cycle we want. As you can see, the PWM duty cycle starts from 20%, start from 0% and all the up to 100%. So let us see by writing duty cycle as 50% and start the simulation. You can see the LED is somewhat faded. You can't see the difference right now. Let me write some more code so that you can see the difference. I am giving a delay of 500 microsecond. Then I am again setting the LED to 100% duty cycle. Now when I start the simulation, you can see the Arduino, once the Arduino is little fader, then it's turn on its full potential. So this one is the fading of the LED. Let me show it. Where is this? I think this is not visible in the simulator, but when you will do it by your own using the hardware, any real LED, you will see the fading. Now let's do something else. Okay, so we will learn how to use a for loop. First of all, write for, then write any integer, and we will give it initial value I is equal to 0. Then we will give its final value, means in the for loop we will firstly give the initial value, then we will give the maximum value up to which we want to go, like we want to go for 100. Then we will write how much increment we want in every cycle. Then we write I plus plus means we are giving an increment of 1 at every cycle. Then we will start the for loop. Now, what we are going to do is, in the for loop, we are going to write analog write pin number 6 as I. Okay, so whenever this for loop starts, it will give the value of I is equal to 0 for the first time. Then it will, uh, then this command will run with the value of I as 0. Then it will again run. Now it will increment, it will give an increment of 1. So now the I is 1, then we will get here 1, then again it will run. Then after 100 times, so from starting from 0 to 100, this function will go. And I am giving a delay of 10. Let's see what happens. As you can see, so this LED starts from 0, then goes to duty cycle of 100. You can see the LED is fading. If then if we again want to use another function, then let's add one more for loop. Now we are starting from 100 as our initial value. Then we will go right beyond 0, right up to 0. Then we will give a decrement of 1. Here we will write again the same function. Then we will give delay of 10. Let's see what happens. Uh, So now the LED is going right from 0 to 100 by this function, then again coming from 100 to 0 by this function, and this repeats again and again. So in this way you can fade an LED using the analog write function. Now let's go to some another module. Uh, so let us try to turn this LED on using a push button. Here we have a push button with me. What a push button does is whenever the push button is pressed, the connection between the terminal A1 and terminal A2 gets connected. So you can see this push button in a lot of electronic appliances like your TV, microwave, and everywhere. Even in your TV remote, you have the push buttons, and in your mobile button is also a push button. So the push button plays a very important role in any electronics project or any product. So we will see how to use a push button with the Arduino. In order to use a push button, you have to connect first one of the terminal to the 5 volts of the Arduino. I have connected it to the 5 volt as you can see here. Then the second terminal to any of the digital pin in the Arduino. So whenever we press this button, the 5 volts gets connected to the pin number 2. Then we will read the input from the digital pins and we will came to know that the push button is being pressed. But there is a small trick here. We have to use a pull-up resistor so that whenever the button is not pressed, then it it can be connected to the ground. So I'm connecting one of the end of the resistance to the ground. It became too messy here, so let me do this again. Okay. Okay. So I am using a pull-up resistor. So what a pull-up resistor does is, so whenever we press this button, the digital pin will get 5. So it will get a digital 1. It will read it. But whenever it is not pressed, at that time it get a high impedance state. Means it is not connected with anything. So it will read random values. And we don't want that it reads any random value. We want that whenever we press it, it gets digital 1. Whenever we release it, we don't press it, we get 0. So whenever we don't press it, we have to connect it to the ground. So we are connecting it, the pin number, the second terminal of the push button to the ground using a pull-up resistor. So let's write a code for it. Okay. So we have to, now we are using the digital pin as an input. In the pin number 2 is the input now. So we will write pin mode, pin number 2 as input. Okay. So first of all, we will read the pin number two's input and save it in any variable. So let's define a variable first. I am defining a variable named integer. I will name it as button state. So this variable will save my button state of the pin number 2. Means it will save the state of pin number 2. So I will write button state equals. Now we will use the function digital read as we are now reading the value of the button. Now we are reading the value of pin number 2, so we will write pin number 2. Okay. Now we have our this value of the push button or the digital pin 2 in the button state variable. Now what I will do is I will write digital write pin number 6 on which we have connected the LED, and I am writing here button state. So what it basically does is it will read the value of the pin number 2 and write the same value on the pin number 6. So that means if I press the button, the LED will turn on. If I don't press the button, the LED will turn off. Let's start the simulation and take a look what happens. So whenever I press the button, the LED glows. Whenever I release the button, the LED is turned off. Whenever I press the button, the LED turns on. So you can see it is working. So that was a very basic code. Uh, okay, so now you know how to use a push button with the Arduino. Let us see something else now. Uh, Now we have seen how to take input from the digital pins and how to give output from the digital pins. We have also seen the PWM aspect of the digital pins. Now we will take a look on the analog pins. Here we have analog pins. These pins are basically input pins, input pins. So these pins are not capable of giving output. These are only used to give or only used to take input, and the input must be in the form of analog. So I will delete everything. Here we have a potentiometer. What a potentiometer does is it acts as a potential divider. So let's connect the potentiometer with the Arduino and see what we can do with it. Connect the one leg of the potentiometer with 5 volts, one leg with ground, and the center one leg, which is the variable pin, to any of the analog pins. I am using A4. Now we will write the code. The analog pins are already input pins, so we don't have to set the pin mode for them. Instead of button state, I am using a integer as analog value. I am using this variable in order to save my analog values. Now we will write analog value equals. Here we will write, in order to read the analog values, we will write analog read. Pin, we are using pin number A4, so we will write A4. That's it. So in this way we can read the analog value. But where should we write it? I am writing it on a PWM pin. Mm, Analog, right? Okay, ma'am.
Prashant, can you wind up in 1 or 2 minutes, please?
Okay,
We can
ma'am.
have another session. We can have another session
So I'm winding
again for
things
this.
up
No,
really
you
fast.
can complete this code. After
Uh,
that, we
we
can
will
have
write
another
this
session with
value
you.
here. Okay, let's see what happens. So in order to check the value from the PWM pins, we have to use an LED. So I'm connecting LED to the pin number. Okay, so whenever we rotate the potentiometer, the LED fading starts. Hmm. So you can see, whenever I am rotating the potentiometer, the LED's brightness is being controlled. It is very faint, so might be you can't see it. So before winding up all the session, I want to show you the projects of Arduino which are most popular among us, like Arduino robots. So with the same coding, you can build these types of robots, like this one. This one is an obstacle avoiding robot. What it actually does is it uses ultrasonic sensor. It sees if there is an obstacle in front of it, then it saves itself from it. Then we also have the Arduino robots like this one. This is also known as a biped robot. It has a multiple number of servo motors with it. Then in the similar fashion, we have more of the robots like uh, Like this one is a smartphone controlled robot. It uses Bluetooth to connect to your mobile device and run. So with by using the Arduino, you can make tons of project with the same coding, but due to shortage of time, I can't show you how to do them all. You can see my YouTube videos. I have made a lot of videos on how to program Arduino and how to make different YouTube projects, different Arduino projects. You can check out my channel also. I will give the link to in the group, in the coordinators group. You can see that from there. Okay, ma'am, that was it.
Yeah, thank you, Prashant. Thanks a lot. I should say that you did a very good job, and I think so. You are like even the most seasoned teachers also at times fumble. पर आपने जो है बहुत ही स्मूथली बताया और बहुत ही अच्छे से बताया. Thank you so much, and it was very clear presentation. And over to Mr. Vikas Verma for his expert comments and any observations and any improvements that he can suggest.
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, it's my privilege to thank KVPIC for providing me the opportunity to attend this tech talk as a technical expert. And Dr. Srinath, thank you, ma'am, and thank you, sir. Well, today's talk made me remind of my NIT days, microprocessor instead of microcontroller, and it was 8085. We used to do coding using mnemonics rather than high-level language C or C++. When after completing my degree, when I in the field, I realized the presence of 8051 microcontroller family. I learned assembly language and I did lot of projects on 8051, that is 89352, 89351 and 8932051 microcontroller. And somewhere around I think 2005, microcontrollers came into the market. PIC, Atmega, Philips, Motorola, STM, they all produce number of microcontrollers. Easy to program a microcontroller with the help of languages like C and C++. And Arduino also was also introduced in somewhere around 2006, 2012 or 2013, something like that. And it emerged out to a very user-friendly platform. And as it was incorporated with the features like analog and digital input pins as written by Prashant, USB interface, serial interface, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, Android apps, and GPS applications. Even IoT made it more versatile and lot of support was there on the internet. Well, student towards Arduino, and it has revolutionized technology 360 degrees, and the gadgets have become toys. But I also realize that students do not concentrate on the hardware, though it also plays a vital role. Understanding the concepts of field effect transistors, IGBT relays, signal conditioners, conditioning circuits, transducers, and even power electronics plays a prime importance role. Market, Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi is inviting lots of startups. Even SIDBI and MSME are also supporting financially. The cluster schemes, design schemes are also there and are available at very subsidized cost. Presently, Corona is toying with us and the onus is on us to take up the challenge and convert into opportunity for the welfare of mankind. Technology can empower people by educating them and giving them voice. As the PM said, make local as vocal. So I would say join your hands together, innovate, work hard, and make local as vocal. Regarding today's performance by Prashant, he explained very well the basic things, the concept of input, output ports, digital pins, and the analog pins with the help of LED and simulator. Even PWM was very well explained. Loops, functions like there are many number of loops like while loops. I think that due to shortage of time, he might be able to explain. The for loop was explained very well. And the two important things in the Arduino are, one is the adding libraries. Nowadays, there are a number of components like we have number of LEDs, alphanumeric LEDs, numeric LEDs. These have a proper library functions and they can be downloaded from the internet. It's a ready-made solution. So you must also learn how to download the libraries from internet. The support is there from the manufacturer, and also the boot loading concept. The boot loading concept is very important. There is no need of incorporating the whole module Arduino Uno into your circuit. Only bare microcontroller can be added. This can be done with the help of bootloader concept. I am sure that Prashant must be knowing that, and you can share with him. Rest, it was a very wonderful joining you all. I really enjoyed. Thank you. Thanks once again.